Hey y'all, I'm here today on behalf of Splitcoaststampers. I've written a technique for them using alcohol inks and the Faux Bleach Technique. And today I'm going to walk you through using alcohol inks to create that look. I have two cards. This one was done with glossy cardstock, and this one is done with the plain white cardstock that we'll be using. A little different twist to this technique. You'll need today a non-stick craft sheet, some clear embossing powder, craft iron, heat tool, some alcohol blending solution, some alcohol inks, the ink applicator tool, and with the felt you'll need a piece of glossy cardstock, and I'm going to ask that you have a piece of plain white cardstock as well, and then probably a piece of paper towel. I'm finding that it was helpful to iron with that. So we'll get started and see what kind of mess we can't make today. I suppose there's one other thing I need to tell you that you should have, and that would be a stamp set. Silly me. So today I'm using the Tim Holtz collection Urban Tapestry, and be working with 3 stamps out of this set. And so let's get started. The first thing we're going to do is stamp our image onto the glossy cardstock, and I'm going to be using the Tim Holtz Distress Embossing Ink, one of my favorites, and I probably should have told you you'll need that as well. Sorry, late night. So I'm going to stamp my image just down here on the corner somewhere, and then we're going to apply our clear embossing powder. And as you'll see, I keep mine in a little thing and just a spoon, and just kind of let it fall over it and tap it off. Makes it so easy to use the embossing. This is the Ranger Superfine Detail Clear. And then we're just going to heat this up now and emboss it. Okay, now that we have our embossing complete, and while I let it cool here a little bit, I'm going to apply my alcohol inks to my felt. Now, there's a little method to this, which is very simple. Just take the nib of your alcohol ink and put it down into your felt and give it a good little squirt. Well, squeeze, I should say. And we'll keep doing this around our felt. I have 4 different colors. Just kind of make sure that they don't overlap any, so you don't want them to muddy up. I'm using today Aqua Periwinkle, Aqua Cool Peri Juniper, and then just to add a little bit of pink to it, I'm going to add some salmon. So you can see, just get it down into the felt and let it fill up the fibers. Then we're going to pounce this over our embossed image. And I have the first layer on. Now I'm going to add just a drop of blending solution in the center. Not much, just a little bit, about like that, and go back over it just to blend these colors. Now that I have this, we're ready to iron off our embossing. So for me, working on a non-stick craft sheet, I like a piece of paper towel underneath. And I'm just going to lay it down here, my image on top. And the cool part about this technique is, well, this piece won't work, that's for certain. Let me get another piece of cardstock. Sorry. Hey, I'm back. Geez, how stupid was that? I'm going to lay this down on top of my image, and I have my craft iron on high, no steam, and we're just going to iron off onto the cardstock our embossed image now. It's a little bit harder to do with the cardstock, so you'll need to apply some pressure and just keep working it around. And you'll know that when it's ready, you can pick up the image and lift it off. I'm sticking, so I'm going to continue to iron some more. until I remove all the embossing, or most of it anyway. And there I have it. And this is my ironed off image that I've created. So I still see a little bit of embossing on here, and I'm going to grab a sheet of printer paper because it's a little lighter and place it over the top and iron off the extra now, so that will be able to stamp over it and it won't mess up my stamped image. So now that I have that done, I've cleaned up most of it. And the fun part about this is you now have your glossy image that you can work with, and you have a second background that you'll be able to work with. So let's trim this one down, the one on the white cardstock. And actually I'm just going to do some quick tearing so that I've got some room to work. You can get it through my mini cutter. And having already done this, I know that I'm probably going to want to cut it here closer to the bottom then. So that I have an image that I can work with. I'm going to make it about 4 inches. Let's say 4 by 3.5. Now the fun thing, again, I'm stuck on fun I believe, is that we're going to apply some ink to this background now. And I'm going to pick up some tumbled glass and maybe some Victorian velvet to work with. And I have another sponge here. And to make this look more like a background, I'm just going to very simply just sponge on some ink around this, adding ink to the detail. And here I'm using some cut and dry foam, just not on a tool, just handy, and I keep them from different colors. So now that we have an inked background, I can overstamp this now, and what I'll be using is the sentiment. So I may have cut this a little too short, we'll see. And I'm going to use some archival jet black ink on my stamping. So I'm going to stamp up my sentiment, or ink up my sentiment. And just stamp right over my second background. And of course I did cut it too short, but you get the general idea of what we're going to do. And this, then I trimmed down, added some gold around it, and we've got this card out of it. So there's no waste of paper, and we've got a different background for this look. On the first sheet, the glossy, you can trim this down. Now, we'll trim it. And because I want this to fit on maybe a 5.5 inch card, I'm going to trim this one definitely to 4 by 3.5. And then I can layer behind it. So what we'll do here is I want to stamp a bird on this background, which, if I can find it, here we go. Duh. And I'll just place this somewhere around here. So we have our bird stamped on our glossy cardstock now, and you just have to finish trimming this out. I ran some gold acrylic paint around the corner and tied a bow on it to finish my card. And I'd love to see what you create with this technique. So if you try it, stop by my blog and leave me a link to your creation. And that's all I have for today, and I hope you enjoy this technique. Thanks for stopping by.